Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Light Up Charlotte. This is Juliana Livano, founder of Light Up Charlotte. And today I'm extremely excited. We have Meredith Dean with the Dean's List today. And we're going to be talking about your brand. We're going to be talking about social media, how you need to be really yourself if you want to be sharing a lot of content. So don't go anywhere and you have to listen all of this full episode. See you soon.
Welcome to Light Up Charlotte, a space for stories that matter, businesses that inspire, and a community that shines together.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited to have you on the Light Up Charlotte podcast this year. I mean, I know I've known you for how many years?
How many years now? That's a good question.
Maybe like over 5?
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm thinking, around there, 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, that's exciting.
That is a lot.
Sorry.
I want to start by saying we're matching today.
You did such a good job on the branding. I was so excited. You have the white bow, the shoes, everything. Makes me feel special.
But why are we wearing blue?
Well, light blue is the color for the Dean's List. So that is my digital branding and career consulting company that's focused on building offline community with online presence that's elevated. And we do all sorts of fun Dean's List destinations, mobile magic classes that you've come to, the 20 Under 20 awards, but it's all about bringing people together who may have never met otherwise and helping people have a voice online and offline. But Dean's List is all light blue because this is a color that's typically chosen for baby boys when they're born. And I wanted to go against gender stereotypes, but since I'm a female-owned business, but it's also a healing color, and it's in nature, it's in the ocean, it's in the sky, and it's also in skylines like the Charlotte skyline. And to me, that represents also a lot of ambition when it comes to cities and starting up businesses. So that was the long answer of why we're wearing light blue.
I wanted to be on brand.
You killed it. This looks so good. I want to buy it.
I was telling you that this was the only thing I had blue, but I'm like, okay, we're in sport mode today,
We are.
So
Light blue, jeans light blue,
embracing-
athleisure.
yeah. So I know you because of the things that you do, but today I wanted to ask you a little bit more about the Meredith growing up.
Oh,
So who were you growing up and your family? And just tell us a little bit more about that journey.
yeah, I love that. So I think this is really important to also think about how we were as little girls because it shapes the women that we are today. And if we focus on our inner child, that also helps with healing and progress. But I am very grateful that I grew up in a family that I absolutely adore and always wanted me to travel even before I was a year old. So I was out of the country before I was a year old. And my dad, his name is Walter. So he owns his own company called D Machinery, but he always made it very clear that we need to get out of our bubble of Alpharetta, Georgia. I grew up in an area that was it was typically kind of conservative. I loved my childhood. I actually went to a Christian private school, surprisingly, for when I was in elementary school. And then I went to a public school in fourth grade. And I loved people. I just wanted to always be around my friends. I was a horseback rider. I was into cheerleading. But I was just a really happy child. I loved every single day of my childhood. And I love my parents. I'm very close to them. And my grandparents and my grandmothers are really my everything too, my inspiration. But grew up in Georgia.
Wow. That's incredible. And you mentioned something really important to me because I love traveling too.
I know.
In fact, I just know you just went to Morocco, which I was extremely jealous about. And
You'll go. I know you will.
Why didn't I go to this one? But anyways, I'm sure you're going to be planning a lot more, and we're going to touch base on those traveling planning of yours. But how now I kind of connecting dots into the things that you do and the things that your parents taught you, even when you were little, and what I'm seeing today with the person that you are right now.
Oh,
Tell me a little bit more about that TV person or that you wanted to be a journalist. how that impacted you as a child, or why did you want to go into that profession?
Into that profession. I love that. So I first actually wanted to be a marine biologist, and I wanted to work at SeaWorld and like stand on Shamu's nose and do like these marine mammal shows. That was my first love. I think it's because of a Barbie computer game that I played. But I always was really into coding, and I wanted a really cool MySpace profile. So I was on my computer a lot. And I loved video games. So I was since I was a little girl, I was always into video games. And Nintendo 64, I was playing Legend of Zelda, but it helped me really get into that mindset of loving tech, which a lot of girls were not really into, but I was into James Bond and Tony Hawk and all these SSX tricky snowboarding games. And it's funny that did something for me where I love tech, but I also love telling people stories. I was really involved in high school. I was a cheerleader. I was really into hard rock music. I was just into a whole lot of things, but my main connectors, I loved telling people stories, and I loved being a part of different groups. I wasn't just a part of one high school group. I was a nerd, but I also was a cheerleader, but I just loved all people, and I loved languages. So that was another thing, as I was obsessed with French and I would ask for more homework. So the idea of being able to tell people stories, that's when journalism came into things. And I was really good at writing, but I sucked at math. I mean, like really bad at math.
High five on that.
So I've had to compensate for it. But I realized that through television news, I can connect with people from all different cultures, all different backgrounds, and be able to tell their stories, especially marginalized people's stories or people who are going through really difficult times. And then you can connect that to social media, where I'm able to choose my own stories and be able to share those whenever I want them in my own way. So
you missed my event for Light Up Charlotte, and I touched base a little bit on my journey and my story. And growing up, I wanted to be a journalist.
I love that.
That was my dream. I wanted to be in the communication field. I wanted to be on TV. I wanted to interview people. Maybe this is my dream, fulfilling this dream that I really
exactly
had.
It.
Yes,
You're doing a form of journalism now, and interviewing other entrepreneurs or people that are lighting up the city in one way or another. So you're doing that. You're living your dream, and I am too. We might not be in typical television journalism now, but it's amazing that we're able to still tell people's stories and lift people up for good. So you're doing it.
So you were on TV. Then you decided to create your own business of social media. How was that transition, coming from the TV world and then going to owning your own business and telling people what to do with these new platforms? That sometimes I don't even know what to do with myself, and all the trends and what is happening. So how was that transition for your life, and why you decided to do it?
This is really good timing too. I went to University of Georgia. I was a digital and broadcast journalism major, and I also was really into new media, so coding apps and everything. And I heard about this position with Deborah Norville, who was the anchor of Inside Edition for CBS television distribution in New York. She also went to Georgia. And it's crazy. Literally yesterday was her last day at Inside Edition.
I saw that.
Yes.
I posted.
And she was my very first boss, and she's one of the, I think, longest running syndicated television anchors, but also having that Georgia connection. She's from Dalton. And she gave me that opportunity to go to New York and work for her as her assistant. And it was incredible. And then, I'm working my 9 to 5 with her. And then it's expensive to live in New York.
Oh, yes.
Very expensive.
You love it though?
Oh my gosh, I was obsessed. It's one of the best cities in the world. I would say it's the best city in the world. I love Charlotte. And it's a more of a long-term city for me, but New York at 21 years old, could not have been better. But so I was thinking, man, I need to probably make some extra income, but I also want to help my family's nonprofit. So we build girls' schools, wells, and clinics in Western Kenya through Habitat Aid Initiative. So I told you about my dad. He lived there. He was a teacher there. He got malaria and typhoid, and he had to come back to the U.S.
Wow.
And so that's always been a huge part of my life growing up. So I wanted to help that financially, but I wouldn't be able to afford it with just my salary that I had as an executive assistant. So that was where Dean's List started. I started building websites for young professionals, students that wanted to get their dream jobs. And then I built Deborah Norville's website. Then I built the co-anchor's website. Then I built the makeup artist website. And so I actually didn't start with social media. I started with personal websites. So that goes back to the coding and why I love tech so much.
Wow.
Social media did not, like, I was always building my social media in my own Instagram. So I was building my personal brand, but I didn't start doing social media coaching until probably 5 years into my business. I was doing only personal websites and career coaching. I was doing resumes and LinkedIn's for people.
So when you decided to do or focus yourself, because when I met you, you were exclusively just doing social media. I think so. Or
no, actually,
graphic design too?
No, just personal websites, resumes, career coaching, and social media coaching. So I offer a lot within Dean's List. The idea is to help people achieve their offline dreams with their online presence. So that could be a personal website.
Okay.
That could be a LinkedIn. That can be an Instagram, TikTok. So social media is just a portion of Dean's List services.
Okay. Well, that's why we're here, because
a
lot of people know you because of the influencer in Charlotte and getting people to know all the details about every little thing, because I know you're everywhere in Charlotte.
You are too. We're doing it. We're doing all things.
Tell me how you can give an advice, or what is the biggest mistake now in today's world that people that are wanting to be an influencer or social media content creator are making right now?
I would say the biggest mistake is not sharing your voice and not sharing your message because you're afraid to do it, or you think it's going to be cringe, or you think that people are going to judge you. Do it anyway. Post it scared. I mean, I just did a reel literally yesterday saying, girl, post your content.
Yes.
It is amazing what social media is able to do for companies now. Overnight, people can sell out of their product. We could never reach people this way in the past. We're able to touch so many different lives through your story. And I mean, I think about how TikTok influencers, some people are helping people get out of abusive relationships. Some people are able to get themselves out of debt just because of social media. So I see social media as a power tool. You can either use it to build a house or you can cut your arm off. So let's use it for good, and let's use it for ways that lift up everyone collectively.
And I will say everything has their stages. Let's just say me, I'm starting this podcast. I'm not the best at it.
You are doing great, and you have great questions.
Thank you. But I'm 100% sure when I go back to maybe, who knows, if I continue, hopefully, doing this for a long time, looking back at my first episode and then looking back at my number 50 or 60, then you'll see a progress, just like when you're riding a bike and then you're just not the best at it. And then you're just like, oh, I can do it better. Just like those little things that you do in life. It's just little by little, but don't stop doing it. I will say
never stop doing it. And the thing is we learn so much about ourselves in the process. And I love seeing the transformation. Like, even I think about it with my fitness journey. You know, in 2020, I weighed about 40, maybe 50 more pounds than I do now.
You look amazing.
Thank you. You look amazing. But we love to see the transformation. No one's going to be perfect when they start. And everyone loves to see an underdog work their way up, or, you know, someone who's going through struggle. That's the other thing is Instagram and social media and all that. No one is perfect. Your feed should not be perfect. That's not how life is.
Yes.
That's why, even for me, I'm taking my own advice. Just post it. If it's not perfect, that's okay. It's like, I treat it like an experiment sometimes too. Like, let me try this today and maybe I'll try this tomorrow. You can just go delete it or archive it afterwards if you want to, you know?
Plus, you're not going to be able to make everybody happy.
Exactly.
I don't know if it's, and that was another question that I'm having now that you touch base on your weight, because as a content creator, I feel sometimes we're really hard on ourselves to be more vulnerable, because we may be thinking we have to have this perfect image of ourselves to show up to people. So how is being through your journey of maybe not feeling secure with your weight or what people were saying, and still you just have to show up because this is your this is your business and this is what you have to do. So what kind of advice or comments you can give us about that area?
Yeah. And you know what's funny is even when I weighed so much more, I still was confident in my body. You know, we're always in different stages of life, and it's important to love where you're at and knowing that we're just trying to be the next best version of ourselves or the next best version of our business. So going back to your actual question, what was your actual question here? Sorry, I already lost it.
No, my question was like, what advice can you give to people that I know you felt, I never think you were insecure at all, but some other people may be having that pressure of, I have to have this perfect image of, or if I don't look this certain way, people aren't going to like me. They're not going to like my pose, or I gain weight. People are going to judge me, or even, you know, people notice every little thing online, and sometimes it's really hard for you to really be vulnerable because at the end of the day, they're always going to be judging on something, no matter what.
I say the people that are noticing every single thing and are judging are probably not very happy with their lives. I only am cheering people on every single day. I don't compare myself to anyone. Your superpower is that you are you and no one does you the way that you do it. I know that like there's a lot of content creators that might look like me, Southern white blonde girls from Georgia, but no one does me the way that I do it. And I don't compare myself to literally anyone because I know that I feel good about what I'm putting into the world. I'm empowering other people. I'm educating other people. And I know that whatever I put out is authentically going to be me. When you do that, you should never worry about what you're putting out there. And I don't ever take time to dissect people's stuff, or I'm too busy. I got stuff to do. I'm a creator, not a consumer. So that's the other thing is I like to put my art and creation into the world, which is social media. I'm not sitting there doom scrolling. I'm honestly not scrolling much at all. I'm creating. I'm constantly putting things out there. So I would say I'm just not worried about what people are thinking like that when I know that I have good intention behind what I'm doing. And I am going to just like I was a cheerleader growing up as a little girl, I'm going to do the same thing for you. And I'm going to do the same thing for other entrepreneurs. We do not have time to put people down. And if you do have time to put people down and think about what they're doing little by little, you might want to check yourself.
And I don't know if you agree with me, but I feel as years go by, like I'm almost to my 40s and I'm starting like an age.
And you look way younger than me. So beautiful. Teach me your secrets.
Thank you. My creams. But I feel the older I get, the less I care about what people think.
Yes.
And
correct.
I don't know if it's like a stage or if maybe the new generation, it's more worry or even less worry about that, I feel, than our generation. But I'm just feeling the older I get, the more like, whatever, like, I don't really care what you think about. If I look fat, if I don't look fat, if my hair is messed up, if it's not, whatever. Like, it is what it is. And if you love me for the person that I am, then I want you to be my friend or look at my content, not because of how I'm looking, but because of the person that I am.
Yes.
But it takes time, you know? It's just like a whole process. And going back to that, how do you feel? Because content creator is a big job, I feel. It's like everybody's watching you more than anybody. You have a big, I don't know, like platform in your hands. How can you be creating content that is really good, but at the same time do not lose your authenticity?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. I think like the way I look at it is so I'm actually doing this workout right now. It's a challenge. It's called You versus You, which I really love because it's not me versus everybody else. It's you versus you. So for me, like, you know, I'm constantly creating content and trying to be the next best version of myself. And I'm not looking at what other people are doing. Of course, you get inspiration from other people, but I think about like am I following these platforms, these pillars? So number one, am I educating? Two, am I empowering or uplifting someone else? And three, does it just make me happy? Like, would I share my own content with someone else because it would be helpful to them? If so, you should never worry about what you're putting out there. Like, I don't worry about what I'm putting out there because I'm not trying to bring anyone down. I'm only trying to lift collective humanity up. And I feel like when you are putting good energy into something that you're doing and you know that you are doing this for the higher good or collective humanity, you're good to go. You never need to even question yourself. And then as soon as you feel like a pit in your stomach before you're going to post something, if you feel like I don't know about that, then don't post it. That means it's not being authentic. You as a woman, you know if something is off energetically in a room, you know if when you're about to post something or you see something, you know if it feels weird. It's a superpower that I think women and I'm sure men have as well. But
our gut feeling.
Your gut feeling is unbelievably accurate. And you should think about that with your content. If it doesn't feel right to you, that means that it's not authentic and you shouldn't put it out there. If you feel like I worked really hard on this and I believe in this and this is what I stand for, these are my values, you should have no question about it. Post the thing. Just go for it. I understand if people have insecurities or they're like, oh, I don't know, I'm kind of nervous. Like that makes sense, but just do it. Just post it. If you know the intentions are good, you're fine.
Okay. That was a good advice. And another question I have for you is about trends.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get crazy with social media. I don't know how you do it, but every single month I feel something is coming up or you should be doing this or you need to do that. What advice can you give everybody who is feeling the same way I'm feeling with social media, that is like another full-time job for someone who owns a business?
Yeah.
And the number one advice that you can give us that you need to for sure keep doing it, or an app or a suggestion or a strategy that you feel if you really can focus on these, do not stop doing these. Or what is your advice on that?
So even though I am a social media coach and a content creator, my number one piece of advice is focus on your offline relationships and your in-person community. Your social capital is the most important thing you have. Your in-person interactions, make that number one, because that is the most important thing and the other things will follow. I didn't build my social media thinking I was going to become a social media content creator or an influencer. I did it because I loved it. It's my video diary. It's my form of creativity. So I enjoy it. I'm doing it because I enjoy it, not because I feel like it's an obligation. If it becomes an obligation, you feel like it's too much, take a break, and that is okay. Your mental health is number one. And this stuff, being around, getting to know people, that is what humans are meant to do, is to have real connection. So put that number one. And now I'll tell you about what you can do about the actual social media itself. So I would say stop thinking of doing stories all the time. Anything that you think is a story should actually be a reel.
Okay.
Just post it as a reel. And also like show us more of your day-to-day and the behind the scenes stuff, not the polished stuff.
Okay.
Like if you spilled coffee all over yourself before you got to a job over here, I want to know that, because that's real life. Or also not trying to look perfect. So don't feel like you need to wear makeup or look amazing all the time. Videos that you're actually laying in bed or you're laying on the couch and you're talking to the camera, those do better because that's real life and people feel like they relate to you. They don't relate to when things are perfect, because that is not the human existence. So I would say, like, I really loved before you went to Shakira, I love that you were like, listen, my hips don't lie, come with me. And you were showing me, like, even you coming to your truck and like showing me what that behind the scenes looks like. That's content you can't find anywhere else. That's really, really cool. And to you, you're like, that's just my day. So if you can show me behind the scenes, you can teach me something from that moment, or you can show me your realness and your humanness, you're good to go. But don't try to make it complicated and don't follow trends. I mean, if you're like obsessed with going viral, which is not always a great thing, sure, try a trend, but people like people more that are trying to do things that are not the typical thing.
So it's not about like, there is 1,000 reels and I'm supposed to be dancing all of these songs and trends. It's just about really connecting in the human as a human with other people, and they can feel that connection with you instead of just doing dances all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not learning anything. I mean, if I want to learn the dance, I'm like, man, that's really cool. I'll try and learn that dance. But, you know, I feel like the more authentic that you are and how excited you are to actually share this story, or the storytelling is what people are captivated by. And that goes back to journalism. You know, people want to hear these stories. It's why Humans of New York, that account that then became a book. Also, the founder went to Georgia as well, University of Georgia. That people love to see the humanness of people. That's why Humans of New York did so well. Andy Weber, he's a creator here in Charlotte. He's a photographer. He's doing, you know, pretty much Humans of Charlotte and showcasing different people that way. That's what you're doing through this podcast. People love learning from other humans and their difficulties. Life's not perfect. So
Yes.
I'm not really, my life is not changed by a dancing video. My life is changed by hearing how someone came through something really difficult.
I like that. We're going to be doing a lot more content on real things, even though we're messing up.
And exactly that, and that's okay. Like, we all mess up.
Yes.
And also, we're not going to get the perfect edit. And sometimes there's going to be, the text is going to be off. That's okay. Big deal. The right people, because of the algorithms are really powerful. They're sending it to the people that need it the most. And TikTok specifically is doing that really well. It's why everyone pulls up their phone and they're like, wow, this is weirdly accurate for what I need right now. It's because that algorithm
They're
is so
hearing
powerful.
what you're saying.
Yes, your phone is very much listening to you all the time through the microphones.
Okay, just to finish, what does it mean to you when I tell you that, when I ask you how you can be lighting up Charlotte?
I love this. And it's such a, you know, you've built such a great brand with that too, you know, from your events to your services and the way that, you know, you interact with people. You know, my main thing through Dean's List is to uplift and empower other people and to help them have that light bulb moment that they go, wow, I can do this and I can spread my message. So I think of Light Up Charlotte and lighting people up. It's igniting that passion within them and having those light bulb moments that will change people. Whether it's in a conversation or whether it's through a service, or, you know, you're bringing them the light to their event. I think that it's so important what you're doing, and it's more than just decor. It's really elevating the entire event. So.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, thank you, because together we're lighting up Charlotte.
We are.
I appreciate your coming here today. And what's next? What's next for Meredith this year?
Well, we're going to Thailand for New Year's for Dean's List destinations. So deadline's June 30th, but looking for 15 open-minded, kind human beings that want to authentically connect. But also you get to learn a lot about social media and how to create cool travel content. Then we're going to go to Kenya in the summer of 2026. So that's going to be a half humanitarian, half safari trip.
Okay.
And then I'm also, for my birthday, I'm going to Portugal and Spain and Vienna, Austria with my best friend Elena. So,
oh my gosh, what
about
is that?
It'll be this summer. It'll be July 4th is my birthday.
Oh my gosh, I'm jealous.
It'll be fun. I love
you
it.
have to tell me about how that goes. You're always traveling. I love it.
Well, thank you. I'm grateful for the freedom to be able to travel, and social media has allowed me to do that.
If you decide to do Morocco again, please let me know, because that is.
I think that's coming. Honestly, I think we will be doing another trip.
Didn't you get a lot of people saying that they love that?
After I came back, and all these people saying, "Oh my gosh, I need to go. I want to do it," and I'm like,
yes,
maybe we'll do it again.
You need to do it maybe 2027. Who knows?
Done. And we might go to Iceland for 2027. Antarctica.
Wow.
Yeah, there's things in the.
There is Dean's list of traveling right there.
Yes, exactly. But thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everybody. And don't forget to go and see Meredith on her social media, and stay tuned for more episodes.
Thanks for tuning in to Light Up Charlotte, where we keep the spotlight on real stories. If you loved this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and follow us on Instagram to keep the inspiration going. Until next time, stay lit, Charlotte.